So I just made about $85,000 shorting crypto just before this massive pump that just happened on Bitcoin. Now it was almost double that, but the question is, where are the markets going from here? How did I just make $85,000 and how did I not just lose it all like I did the first time around? Let's look into it. All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. February 16th, looking live here. Bitcoin back at 25K. Again, I just did start out the year terribly by getting short squeezed for a negative $100,000 loss. And I basically made it all back on this dump to the downside and locked in most of my gains just before this massive run up to the upside. So let's just rewind the screens here and take a look at what had happened going forward. And if we look at some screenshots here, you could see back on about January 23rd, I was back at about 500K. This was after I lost $100,000 shorting Bitcoin after Bitcoin made that massive pump to the upside after a lot of the pumps happened during my sleep over here in Asia. And by the time I wake up, if I don't have a stop in place, then that gets me in a situation where I'm at the point of, okay, do I wait for the next resistance level or do I get out right now or do I add? And the position that I was in before, I ended up adding to the position up near 21K. Unfortunately, that didn't work out in my favor. So that forced me to then have a makeup trade, of which I just did, made back the majority of that loss. But as you can see, the balance is $500,000 right there. Then we started getting balls deep short. As you can see, I was shorting FTM, ADA, APT, ETH1, and Solana. I locked in the majority of the gains here on a lot of these positions as my balance built up to about 615,000. So I was up about 615,000. Fast forward slightly more, once my largest position one started dumping, I continued to lock in gains, had a bunch of profits here. I think I had closed out some already, and I also longed OP and I longed GMX, which both had significant rips to the upside where I locked in about $30,000 to $40,000 in gains on the long side. After that, that's when this came in and I was up to about 634,000, now up about $134,000 after that $100,000 loss. And now as of today, after the big squeeze to the upside, I'm currently at about 585,000. So I gave back a lot of the profits that I had on the open side, but I did lock in a significant amount on the way down. And then I actually re-added short Bitcoin and FTM last night before the US stock market opened, because I'm out here in Asia. The stock market opens about 10:30 p.m. where I am in Bali. And that's when we saw the massive move to the upside on Bitcoin. If we look at my Telegram, so you can see this is where Bitcoin was at before I went to sleep last night. We were retesting in about the 22.7 level right here. Also the flag breakdown. So there was multiple points of resistance right here, looking like the potential also for this descending trend right here to potentially retest and see the next leg down, of which what I was hoping to see, kind of a channel come back down, break down, retest, and then officially break down below here. Obviously, that's not what happened. Bitcoin shredded right through this level and now going all the way up to about 25,000, of which my stop level here on Bitcoin was right around this level. I was only risking about 1 to 1.5% of my account, and all my other open positions that I currently had open short stopped out. I already locked in most of the profits on those, and the stops that were triggered were for profit, not for losses, for the majority of the open positions that were going forward. So now, I'm still down about $15,000 overall from that first initial $100,000 loss. Now, obviously, that means I'm down about 15K on the year, which isn't a problem. 1.7 million in profits 2021, $500,000 in profits in 2022 last year during the bear market, and now right now for the year, I'm basically sitting around break even. I think we'll be back into profits here shortly. So a little bit of a slow start, but this is just part of the game. As long as I don't lose at the end of the year, I'll be fine. I consider that a winning year, but I haven't had a losing year in trading in since like 2008 or 9 or something. It's been quite a long time since that has occurred. So I don't think that's going to happen. We have plenty more months to continually make bank. I just made a few mistakes at the beginning, of which that's just showing you guys the nature of trading and how I operate. Sometimes isn't always to the T. Sometimes I make emotional mistakes and didn't follow my stop or strategy on that 100K loss. So right now I'm still short FTM, which I do think could see a pullback. If we're looking at what's going on in the markets here, especially on Bitcoin, it basically went from a support right into a resistance with no stopping in play at all, not really giving anybody any time to kind of sit and think about, okay, what should I do next? And the entirety of this entire move here happened while I'm actually sleeping over here in Asia. So that is the downside of actually living in Asia, is a lot of the action that we see in the markets happen when the US stock market is open, of which that's also why I retired from stocks in 2017, because I just couldn't fucking do it anymore. It wasn't working and I was exhausted trying to trade at night. So I switched to crypto, of which now I can operate a lot better because it's open 24/7. But for instance, also these big moves that happened, all these big spikes to the upside were happening during the US stock market opens while I was sleeping. And so that's also, which is what led to me making that error and getting caught in this, because I wasn't able to monitor what's happening in real time in the market. And that's also, in this case, that was a huge spike, but I did have my stop in place that actually triggered and stopped me out, of which, it was nice when I had that $634,000 bankroll account, and now we're back down to 585. As of right now, guys, I think the higher probability shorting opportunity here is going to be these lows of about, 28.8 to 30K. I think that would be kind of the higher probability move into this range back up in here. Do I want to go long after a fucking, what is this, like $4,000 move? Not really, no. So we're kind of at the point of, is this a shorting opportunity into this resistance for a pullback before the next leg up? But I certainly don't want to look for longs right here after this massive move, because then you're just asking for trouble, because we might come back down and retest the support level. As of right now, I'm kind of indifferent. I'm not interested in long. I'm not super highly interested in short either. I would be more so interested in short between 28 and 30K, because that would be, I think, a higher probability trade on the short side. Also, if we look at Ethereum, yes, it is right at resistance, but it's still inching towards the potential breakout. And I think a higher probability shorting opportunity would definitely be a breakout of this level right up into 2000, which is obviously a bigger psychological barrier as well, and retest these levels up about 2K up near this high to create a potential double top after this triangular formation is a breakout. Now, I don't know if this is going to just rip right through this, but one thing I do not like doing on the long or short side is chase any sort of breakout. I want to be in pre-breakout and then be locking in on the way up, not chasing the breakout, hoping it breaks out and doesn't turn into a bull trap or bear trap, of which usually is what I like to trade on the opposing side to go short or long. So as of right now, I think it's too risky to be buying up here. If you do, you're putting yourself at risk, and you need to be putting a smaller position size so that you do have room to buy the potential dip if this is just a fake out right here before potentially going up, because you don't want to chase this. This is kind of a noob strategy, is to chase these spikes after a fucking 3,000 point move. The better move to buy would be buying this level here, of which for me, I was looking at this as a potential bear flag. That would be a breakdown to the downside, but obviously that was not the case, and we ripped to the upside. Brief interruption here, guys. Did you know that 75% of traders have accounts under $25,000? This creates a huge problem, because even if you double that account in a year, which is almost impossible, you're still only making $25,000. Introducing Hydra funding, where you can potentially get access up to $500,000 in capital. All you have to do, guys, is sign up for a challenge account, which is going to give you potentially access up to $500,000. And if you earn a 10% profit in this demo account without going into a 5% loss overall or a 4% loss in a day, you will then pass their evaluation phase and, yes, get access to an account with the selected size account. And now, instead of trying to double a $10,000 account, you could potentially earn only 10% on a $100,000 account to earn the same level of profits. And the benefits of this are huge. Rather than risking your entire $10,000 on one account, you can use just $1,000 to potentially get access to $100,000 in capital. You can trade crypto, forex, stocks, CFTs, gold, oil, everything under the sun, all on MT4 and MT5. If you're interested, if you have an account under $25,000, like 75% of traders out there, you're not going to make any money with that account because it's too small. Get access to pro-level funding and pro-level capital with Hydra funding. Link's going to be below. An interesting concept, of which I don't know the full mechanics of how this actually works, but I was reading some tweets and some other people that follow a lot of order flow, and also the situation that's happening with BUSD and the SEC, was that there was a lot of minting or burning of BUSD, and that's also what triggered the actual push to the upside for Bitcoin, because Binance probably knew about the situation coming with the SEC before it was actually made public, and they were potentially doing something that they had to get their reserves right for BUSD, and that's what caused them to push up the price. And if you look at the cumulative volume delta on somebody's Twitter, I forget who it was, but he was showing that BUSD and Binance was the biggest volume mover of this push to the upside, which could also be pushing this next level up here as well. So an interesting theory that there could potentially be some sort of manipulation to the upside, because there wasn't a whole lot of retail volume pushing this up. It was a lot of big, huge whale alerts that were triggering from minting from Paxos to BUSD to Binance that were then pushing up the price of Bitcoin. Now, whether that's a real theory theory or not, I don't know, but it is an interesting theory to consider based on the fact that we had this all of a sudden massive squeeze to the upside while stocks didn't really rip to the upside. It was a standalone move in the crypto market, also just ahead of this news coming out with BUSD being banned potentially by the SEC and limiting Paxos from actually minting any other BUSD. So interesting theory, whether it's real or not, I don't know. But this seemed like a manipulated move potentially to the upside for Bitcoin. So as of right now, guys, we're reaching the resistance here at about 25K. Buying here, I don't think is a good idea. I would wait for a potential pullback or even potentially be shorting up here. Some of the altcoins look like better shorts. But as of right now, I think now that this turned into a fake breakdown, I think the bulls have the upper hand here as of the short term. I would potentially look for a dip to then rip all the way back up to about 28 to 30K. I think that would be a higher probability shorting opportunity. Again, also with Ethereum, a breakout of here, I think a higher probability move would be shorting up near 2000. So do I want to chase this long? Not really. Do I want to add short here? Not really. Do I want to wait until 2,000 on Ethereum or 28 to 30,000 on Bitcoin to short again? Potentially. So for me, there's a lot of sitting on my hands as of right now. And also addition to that, guys, it's also kind of a weird irony of the price action right now, right? I had been looking for a dip buy on the US dollar, of which we bought into this level as it reached into my buy grid. I'm still currently long DXY as we just broke out of this bull flag to the upside, but we bought down here. So you can see I still have two open positions on DXY, bought right down here at about 101.15, move my stop levels up into profits. We're having a bull flag breakout to the upside as of right now. Ideally, I'd like to see this continue pushing up to about 104.50 to 105.50 in this range up here. So that's the current situation. I'm also still short gold, which is basically if you're buying the dollar, you're basically shorting US gold. And that's why I started getting short gold, of which I did get stopped out in my first round here and then had that secondary push to fake everyone out, create a bull trap, which was also correlating with the bear trap on the US dollar, of which now I've moved my stop down into profits. I've already locked in the majority of my gains. As you can see, all these little blue triangles here after me getting short are me locking gains. Profit, 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 profit. And I still have a smaller position left from the entry up here right at the top for the bull trap, of which is going down. Now, the inverse thing that did not happen is one, as the dollar pumped, the only thing that went down was gold. Typically, when the dollar pumps to the upside, you're going to see a drop in risk on assets such as stocks and crypto, but that is not what happened across the board. We did see a small dip to the downside on the NASDAQ, US 30, and S&P, but now we're continually pushing to the upside as the dollar is going into the upside as well, and as well as crypto is going up as well. So it's kind of a weird correlation that is now breaking free from each other, where the traditional correlation is that as the dollar goes down, stocks go up. As the dollar goes up, stocks go down. And so it's kind of an irony of what's going on as of right now. The only correlation that worked was as I bought the US dollar to go up, gold actually went down. So I was long the dollar and short US gold, and I'm also still short US stocks. But as of right now, it's not necessarily working out in my favor as we just broke out of a bull flag to the upside on NDX 100, as well as a bull flag on the S&P 500 potentially right now. So we could potentially rip to the upside still on stocks. So it's weird to have both the US dollar breaking a bull flag and US stocks breaking a bull flag at the same time, which kind of confuses me a little bit, it makes me a little bit more uncomfortable on these positions. But this is Hydra funding that we are trading with here, the platform. So if you're interested in Hydra, if you want to trade gold, indices, stocks, crypto, you can see I'm also short Meta at the moment, currently up on Meta, got short here, and now locking in gains here, looking for a potential gap fill at about 160 or so here. So you can trade anything on this platform, which is very, very cool, especially to be able to trade all the futures, trade stocks, trade crypto, right? So you can basically trade anything on here, even the US dollar, which is very nice. So that's kind of the current situation here, guys. Just sitting on my hands at the moment. I'm still looking at some of these though. Like this looks like a bear market fucking, flag here, potentially forming up on APT. Parabolic move to the upside, the first pop after the first dip, potentially for the next leg down. Right now, I'm just so stressed out with these fucking trades going on that I've had so far this year, just trying to get my money back after that mishap that was a mistake on my part. Moving forward, I'd like to just, have a couple of nights to where I can sleep without having to be like, okay, what the fuck? You know, crypto is just so volatile. But overall, I'm still short FTM. I think this could be a second leg down. There's such high volatility in crypto right now. It's kind of hard to gauge what's going to happen. So for me right now, I'm trying to just kind of sit on my hands and not do a whole lot while this volatility kind of plays out. But there are some bullish setups that I have been looking at. For one, Hero, of which is kind of hard to trade because I believe Bybit actually just banned it for whatever reason. They didn't make the criteria, but I've traded Hero a bunch of times for big profits. It's still potentially forming up a revival that failed right here, but now that crypto is looking a little bit more bullish, we could see a secondary run to the upside. There's also STG, which is a potential kryptonite breakout to the upside. It already broke to the upside here once, but now potentially a dip and then a consolidation bull flag. If we do see some sort of bull flag here like this would potentially be another buy here to the upside, potentially upwards of $2 per coin. So we're retesting $1 here. Watch for a potential bullish consolidation and then a huge push to the upside if we do see a continuation in crypto. If Ethereum goes to 2,000 and Bitcoin goes to 28 to 30K, definitely watching STG. A few others, Mask. I do like this consolidation here for a potential consolidation in this range right here for another breakout to the upside and retest these levels. There's also ZIL, which is consolidating, potentially getting ready for a breakout up here, back up to about 50 cents, retesting these resistance levels. So just a few that I'm currently watching on the upside, but buying into a 5,000 point move, that's asking for trouble. I would potentially wait for a dip before buying anything. You never know with crypto. Once these pumps stop or start, just like this one right here, sometimes it just doesn't fucking stop and you never get any chance to wait for a consolidation. And that's why shorting crypto can be so dangerous if you don't have stops in place. As point in case right here, when I got squeezed on this move to the upside, you know, I lost $100,000, which sucks. Now I'm just making it back. Overall, guys, can't complain with what's going on other than sometimes this volatility is a little bit stressful to deal with. But overall, right now, I'm kind of just sitting on my hands, waiting to see how this plays out. The only position that's left open for me in crypto is FTM at the moment. But other than that, guys, made most of my money back. Feeling pretty good about that. So we'll see how it goes. Catch you guys in the next one.